Thank you all again for joining us. Here we are talking about Uncle Sam and You. Uncle Sam and You is a one-year course for students in grades 5 through 8. If you have more than one child in that age range, they can study it together. If you have younger children, K through 4th, they can certainly listen to the lessons, do the family activities, and do a lot of the activities together. So it can be a great family study. Uncle Sam and You focuses on civics, about how people are involved in government at all levels, just us as individuals through the voting process, then local government, state government, federal government. We talk about America's founding documents and patriotic symbols and the ideals our country was established on. We have 4 weeks that look at the campaign process, primarily for president, but also just about how campaigns and elections work in general, political parties, caucuses, primaries, and then as we get into actual election day and then the electoral college. And so we explain how that works for your kids. Then we look at what the president actually does all day and look at what Congress does, look at international relations, ambassadors, embassies in different parts of the world. We spend time on the military and first responders. Then we have a unit on state government, unit on local government. We have a unit on Native American tribal government also. We look at the justice system, the Supreme Court, and also the other courts down to the local level. Look at the economy and the way the government is involved in that. Communication, for instance, how mail gets delivered. Look at transportation, how roads get built, how stop signs get put up. Look at tourism. And then once a week, we give you an opportunity to learn about an American holiday, some well-known and then some less well-known. We talk about how those holidays came to be celebrated on a national level and any information, legal information related about the holidays. And then we give you a craft, a recipe, a game, something fun to do related to that holiday. So we have a total of 30 holidays spread out over the school year that you can enjoy. One of the books that comes with the curriculum is called the Citizen's Handbook. So as you're going through the lessons, usually a couple times a week, we give you and your children a reading from the Citizen's Handbook. And this is a wide collection of primary source documents and other information about people from history and how they were involved with civics. So we have actual letters, songs, and poetry from different parts and times in American history. We have newspaper articles such as Timeline of the Statue of Liberty, and newspaper advertisements, such as one called Change Your Life with Electricity. We have short biographies that we wrote about people who have served their country in different ways, including John Adams, William Howard Taft, Mamie Eisenhower, Danny Thomas, who helped to establish the St. Jude hospitals, research hospitals, and other people who have played a role in our society and contributed good things to our country. Then we have actual selections from people like Supreme Court Justice John Marshall, Thomas Jefferson, Frederick Douglass, Theodore Roosevelt, Calvin Coolidge. So actual excerpts from letters, journal entries, autobiographies, things that these people wrote that give us a glimpse into their lives and how they played a role in civics also. 2 optional resources we have that go along with Uncle Sam and You are the student workbook and the lesson review. You don't need both of these books. You can choose one or the other. The student workbook has crosswords, find-a-words, matching, drawing assignments, unit tests, a weekly test for every unit. And then the lesson review has review questions for each lesson, literature review questions, and also a unit test, which is different from the ones in the student workbook. So a lot of younger kids like the student workbook because it has the fun handwork activities, and then older kids may enjoy the lesson review, but they're really not designed for a particular age. So if you have an 8th grader who really likes to do crossword puzzles and find a words, then it's great to use the student workbook. And if you have a 5th grader who really likes to write short answers, and that's what it's all short answer review questions. So if you have a 5th or 6th grader who likes to do that, really you can choose whichever book seems like a best fit for your child. And then we also recommend 8 literature titles that you can use to go along with the course. And in addition to the creative writing and vocabulary, you can use this as the foundation for your language arts for the year. So we have 8 books that we picked: Lincoln Photobiography, A Letter to Mrs. Roosevelt, which is a novel, Bridie of the Grand Canyon, which talks about how state and local officials work together, in this case for a rescue operation. Basher 5-2 is about the military. Misty of Chincoteague is about the fire department and how they worked with the horses on Assateague Island, Chincoteague and Assateague Islands off the coast of Virginia. The Long Winter by Laura Ingalls Wilder talks about how a community worked together during a long winter, as the title indicates, to help each other stay alive and to work together to get food and take care of everyone in the town. Wright Brothers talks about how they use their creativity and skill to create something that has benefited the Whole World with the Airplane, and then Lost on a Mountain in Maine is about a young boy who spent several days alone on a mountain and about the rescue operation that recovered him and brought him back home safely. So each of these books is designed to go along with a certain period, usually have 2 to 3 weeks to read each book, and we explain exactly which chapter to read as you go through the curriculum. So we will get there in a minute. Now we're going to run through a sample unit from the curriculum to give you an idea of how it's laid out. As I go through this, feel free to ask any questions. If the text on your screen is hard to read, we do have this available as a PDF file on our website, so you can download that and look through it, show it to your children, see what they think about the lessons to get a preview of the curriculum. The way Knotgrass curriculum is set up, we have 150 lessons, so it's designed to do 1 lesson per day, Monday through Friday, and it takes 30 weeks. So if you have a 36-week school year, 180 days, then you can take a few weeks off here and there, but it is designed primarily to do every day. How much time will it take? Roughly 45 minutes to an hour. Again, it depends on how much time your children spend on the activities, how long it takes them to read the extra literature. Once a week with the holiday activity, there is some more work to do, so you should plan on a little extra time 1 day a week. But you can do it in about 45 minutes to an hour a day. But if you want to use it as a foundation for other things that your children are doing, you can certainly supplement it, and as I talk about. So it definitely has civics, but then it also has language arts with the literature, vocabulary, creative writing. There is some Bible study in it also, and then there are the hands-on projects. So there's a lot of material, and you can pick and choose the activities that work best for your family, but we make it very easy for you to know how to follow it. So here's 1 week, Unit 12, about the presidency. This lesson, 56, talks about the role of the First Lady. So we look at some of the First Ladies who have served throughout history. Our curriculum has lots of full-color photographs and illustrations, and we have historic black and white photographs to illustrate all the lessons. And then at the end of every lesson is a set of activities, and again, you can pick and choose which activities work best for each child in your family, and which one, depending on how much time you want to spend, you can choose those. For instance, this lesson 56, the activities are thinking biblically, vocabulary, literature. You read a letter that Frederick Douglass wrote to Mary Todd Lincoln after her husband was killed, and then you read 3 chapters from Bride of the Grand Canyon. So again, we make it very easy to follow the instructions, and your children can follow the directions on their own. It's designed so that all the instructions are laid out right in the lesson book, so your children can follow along the directions on their own, or you can do it as a family. You as the parent can be involved as much as you want to. There's a creative writing activity, a picture this activity. We have encouraged the student to draw a picture or take a photograph of your mom doing something for other people, such as cooking a meal or doing laundry. And then there's a student workbook or lesson review. We'll look at that in a moment. So that's 1 day, 1 lesson. Then you'd move on to the next lesson. This one is about the White House. Again, lots of photographs and illustrations. Again, the activities for this lesson. Now we'll take a look at the student review, for example. So the student workbook, for lesson 57, has a set of 7 sentences that take information from the lesson, and then we give the student an instruction. So in this case, you're remembering how many fireplaces the White House has, the number of doors, elevators, bathrooms, windows, rooms, staircases. So all of that information is in the lesson, and then we give the child something to do with the information from the lesson. And then the activity for the next lesson, 58, design an invitation to an event at the White House. It could be a dinner honoring a special guest, an award ceremony, a birthday or Christmas party, or something else. So those are the kind of activities that are in the student workbook. And then in the lesson review book, we have 5 short review questions for every lesson. In this case, for lesson 57, the questions are, for example, what president made White House the official name of the president's home? Who was the first president to live in the White House? In what part of the White House complex is the Oval Office? During whose presidency was the interior of the White House disassembled and rebuilt while the president's family lived in Blair House? And what First Lady oversaw an extensive renovation of the White House to preserve and restore its history? So again, all the information is taken from the lessons. We give you as the parent a full answer key to all of the worksheets, all of the questions. So it's easy for you to find the answers and help your student make sure they're retaining the information that you want them to retain. So that's an example of those books. Again, 3 lessons, so a total of 4 lessons per week in the main lesson book. And then For the 5th lesson each week, you choose an American holiday. Again, we give you 30 holidays, and as you go through the course, they roughly correspond chronologically. As you go through, we start with the 4th of July, and then go through Father's Day at the end. So 15 in each book. So for instance, if you're doing the course Unit 12, you'd approximately be around the Bill of Rights Day, December 15th. And this was set up in 1941 to remember the importance of the Bill of Rights. And then we give you a family activity, in this case, freedom of speech driveway. I encourage you to get some sidewalk chalk and have your kids, the whole family can go out and draw things to help us remember the value and importance of freedom of speech, and how we as Christians want to choose our words carefully and be kind and considerate to other people. And even though we have freedom of speech, that doesn't mean we should say whatever is on our mind. We need to think about that and be careful. So again, all of our curriculum is written from a Christian perspective. We do want to help you teach the heart, soul, and mind of your children. So we don't just want to give your kids a bunch of facts that don't have a context. We want to help them take the information they're learning and see how it applies to their lives and help them learn how to be better people as they're studying civics, as they're studying history, whatever course they're using from Notgrass. Our goal is to help, again, teach more than just academic knowledge, but help you teach your children the character and the way to conduct ourselves that you want your children to learn. So that's an example of one unit. Let's see. Go ahead, if you have questions, feel free to type those in the box and I will get to those in just a minute. Kind of switch back to another screen. So here are the options we have for the Uncle Sam and You curriculum package. It's $89.95, which includes 3 hardcover books. It's part 1, part 2, and the Citizen's Handbook, and also an answer key. So that has all the lessons, all the assignments, all the primary source documents that you need to do the course. So that's the core package. You can just buy that and you'll have plenty of material for a great school year studying civics, learning about our country. Student workbook and lesson review. The student workbook is $11.95. The lesson review is $9.95. Then we have the literature package, all 8 books together for $54.95, which is a savings off the individual retail price. We do offer the books individually. If you have trouble finding any of them, they are all still in print, so you can get them from any source you want. Your library, Amazon.com, used book sale, various places you can find those. All right, so the information is available on our website. I'll pull up a link here. If you're watching on YouTube, you won't be able to see this, but you can go to our website and search for Uncle Sam and You. It's very easy to find. Again, we have, and if you choose to use our curriculum, we're always glad to provide help and support. If you have any questions as you start using it, feel free to get in touch with us through our website, and we will be glad to help you out. Again, Uncle Sam and You has 150 daily lessons, and it's designed to do 1 lesson a day, aimed at students in 5th through 8th grade. But again, if you have younger children, they can certainly study it too. Some parents ask us about using Uncle Sam and You for a 9th grader, and we think the information is wonderful for a 9th grader to learn. We do have a half-year high school U.S. government course, which deals more with the philosophical and theoretical framework and background of government. So it goes much more in-depth, again, for 1 semester. So if you'd like your children your 9th grader to have an understanding of the election process and then military, police, firefighters, transportation, communication, all of those things, then Uncle Sam and You is a great course that you could use with a 9th grader. You could adjust some of the activities to make them a little more challenging. It's not designed as a high school course, so depending on what you need for your child's transcript or what your high school requirements are, you may still need to do a government course later in high school, but it is still great information that you can use with a 9th grader. All right, so I'm going to go back and look for the questions. All right, Katie asked about the Bible study. We do have a couple times a week, we have a short Bible study activity that goes along with the concept the children are learning. Again, the whole course, as I mentioned, is written from a Christian perspective, but we do have a couple of Bible study activities per week that you can use. Let me pull up my sample. So it's not the same kind of in-depth Bible study that we have in our high school course, but we do have some Bible study that you can use with your kids. For instance, read Proverbs 31 in your notebook, write 5 attributes listed in the passage that you think should also be attributes of a first lady. And then another one, read 1 Kings 7, 1 through 12, which describes the palace that King Solomon built. Again, think about that in relation to the White House, where our president lives. And then the third one for that week, read Psalm 127:1. Think about the home you hope to have someday in your notebook. Write a list of 5 God-honoring things you want to take place there. So again, we want to take one little idea from the lesson and then give you a Bible passage to think about and give a short activity that your children can do. Yeah, you can minimize the offer to get back to the chat area. I really appreciate you all bearing with us during our technical difficulties. Again, we are available on our website. We have samples with 2 full units that you can download and look at. Samples from the student workbook, lesson review, citizens handbook. So you can access all of that on the Uncle Sam and You page on our website. You can order online. You can also call us at our 800 number, which is listed on our website, if you have questions or if you'd like to place an order. August is a busy month for us, but we will take care of you as soon as we can. And we really appreciate you being here with us today. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. Thanks for bearing with us. I think I'm going to wrap up for now. And feel free to pass on any other questions you have through our website. So thanks so much for joining with us. Thanks a lot.